Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome back, and let's dig in with another video. In this session, we're going to find out how do you stand out as you're answering the questions in your application. We've started application tips and the action ones, and we're going to use the power of storytelling to make our applications different from everybody else. Okay, so let's dig in and find out what that means. So for every question, or most of the questions, they're going to be asking about you as a person, what you do, and how you creating impact. We already talked about that. So things like tell us about yourself. You should have a very brief sentence describing who you are, like your personality, what you're doing, who problem you're solving, who you're helping to solve that problem, and the impact. One full sentence just to summarize who you are. But there are going to be situations where they're going to ask you, how did you end up doing what you're doing? They're trying to find out if your business is based on passion, if it's based on, so your story will show that. For example, in this slide, the person would have started a business about a library because they loved books. They are book junkies from the time, I don't know what, and that accidentally ended up pouring into their career, okay? Then you would talk about, the story is so much about Mandela Washington Fellowship does not work with people. It's okay to work alone, but if you cannot work with a team or lead a team, then that shows that you're not ready to be a leader, that you're still on your leadership journey. If you're still working alone, people that have organizations that have teams that work together show more responsibility and more capability. So in your storytelling, talk about how you came together with your team, and then what you do and how your strength work together to bring about the impact that you're going to do. So when you're talking about impact, there are two ways you can bring that up in your storytelling. One, you can tell us about a life that really improved because of your product, especially or service, especially if the subject person is one of those people that would have never in the entire world been able to their life to be changed without, because not if it wasn't for your service says. Or you could also talk about how your products have brought about a long-term impact. For example, the reading, how has that brought about someone else's impact? There are stories I've heard where a 64-year-old learned how to read, and then after that they started having confidence with dating. Okay, sorry about the dogs. Yeah, so talk about that. Also, in your storytelling, there are going to be questions that are indirectly asking you about your professional accomplishments. Do not be shy about it. Show how your work has brought about great accomplishments, whether in the previous years or currently. Talk about any awards, everything. Volunteering is a big deal. Whatever you do, it is a big accomplishment, because we're in a very, very difficult like world where everybody wants to get everything for themselves. So if it shows it, a servant leader shows that they are willing to give beyond, and that's an achievement you should never leave out. Make sure you add that volunteering experience as a great accomplishment in your story. All right, so here is a person that is going to tell us, this person applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship 3 times. The first and second, they denied. Don't give up. If this is your first application, you're going to be learning tips, but the tips you're getting, I hope they're going to really help you to get it the first time. So let's listen from someone who did it 3 times, and how the third time, sharing the tips that he learned over the time that you can apply.
Thank you very much. My name is John Bosco Mugumia, a Mandela Washington Fellow 2022. I want to talk about the tips I would give someone who is prospective for applying for Mandela Washington Fellowship 2023. So the first thing is prepare. Read through the application, breathe, plan, and get ready. Once all things are ready, now start looking at resources that you need, especially how to pitch the work you're doing and the idea you want to implement after. Then, doing all that, you're not doing these things for yourself. Mandela Washington Fellowship is not looking at an inward resource, it's looking at an outward resource. Who do you help? So, to always look out for who you help and be consistent talking about that. Then you need to be consistent in your answering of your essays. Consistency is key. Make sure there is no lie, because if a lie is there, it will be lost in consistency. 3, the basic is you have to have a problem that you're handling, and that problem you should be passionate about, not just a problem, because problems are everywhere. But if you're passionate about a problem, you have been tackling about it, be proud of it. Speak like you own this world, because that's what you are. Then be able to tell your story, because this work you're doing has a story behind it. So if you're able to tell your story, then you're good to go. Otherwise, I wish you all the best in your application.
Me too. I also wish you all the best in your application. So in the next session, we're going to be tackling the technical parts of answering questions. One last bonus tip for you guys is be honest. He talked about it. If you're honest, however much a question is asked in different times, you're going to honestly answer it, because you're not trying to keep up appearances. Don't try to impress. Be honest in your answering of questions. See you in the next video, guys. Okay.